Do you see actors that do become SAG, do you see that they may get better opportunities? Do you feel that they may get better opportunities if they do join?
Well, first off, it's a bigger market.
Right.
The pay is definitely regulated. When you do non-union, you don't have a leg to stand on. The pay could change. They could offer you some salary the day you show up, could be something else. You're not protected.
Right.
If you're doing non-union work, they can change things. You're not protected with residuals.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole thing that you're not protected with. A lot of people like to stay non-union because there are a lot of non-union films that they can do that are very creative, that are very low budget, gives them a chance to maybe do a lead in it, to get some footage of themselves.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of student films. I don't think the student films are deal with SAG because they get waivers. But it just depends on where the individual is in his career in terms of that choice that he wants to make. And so I always throw it back to the talent.
Right.
It's like, well, it's what you feel comfortable doing.
Right.
Now, many people become SAG, and then they don't work as much because the quotas are small. SAG has a membership over 120-some thousand members. You're now in a market where the work is limited because we don't have the quotas.
That's true.
So that's a whole other thing, too.
I see. And you're also, I've been told that you do one-man shows and things like that yourself. Am I correct?
I wrote I'm an actor.
Yes.
And to draw off of that for a moment, to expound on that, a lot of casting directors are performers.
Yes.
Many of them are actors.
Mm-hmm.
And they still are actors, and they happen to fall into casting because they have an organizational skill, or they have a people skill, or they're very intuitive about making decisions or helping find the right person for a role.
Mm-hmm.
So we all have backgrounds. Mine as a professional dancer. I went to UCLA where I did my undergraduate work. I was an actor there. I studied there. I've done a lot of work as a performer.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happened that I opened a casting company, of which I didn't even want to do.
Right.
That was the furthest thing of what I wanted to do. I said, what are you talking about? I don't want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So whether I wanted it or not, that direction opened up to me. I didn't want to open my own office. I was fighting this thing at the beginning. I did not want to do this. I was not an administrative person. I was not an office person. I was a creative, neurotic performer. That's what I was.
Like all of us.
Well, yeah. And I understood that.
Right.
But I knew I had a skill. I had incredible organizational skills. I have a photographic memory to do certain things. It drives me nuts sometimes. I'm a pretty good businessman in terms of negotiating things. I've learned over the years when you have your own office, you have to be.
Yes.
And I think that's an important advice to anyone. Make sure you understand the business, that it is a business.
Yes.
Contractually know what you're going to get paid. Make sure that's a follow-through.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that the union, will help you with.
Mm-hmm.
But as a performer, I did a one-man show here in L.A. It was in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
and people were very concerned. Well, what is he going to do? So they figured. So the run sold out because everyone wanted to see me do something, and they figured, well, I'll get work out of this, et cetera, et cetera. So the whole place sold out in the run. So then when I did it, everyone came and they expected me to do E.E. Cummings or, at a coffee house to read poetry or to do something. But don't worry, it's Bill. It's just shut up. I'll get work out of this, and we'll support him.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did this psychotic thriller where I was this very deranged person on stage and I wrote this piece, people wouldn't talk to me for 2 weeks.
Wow.
So this whole other creative dark side of me came out, and people going, wait a minute, that's not the Bill Dance. And it more shocked people. People couldn't get in to see it. So there was a backlog of me. I couldn't extend it because I went into a limited run where I was. People couldn't get in to see it, and it created a lot of buzz here in town.
Right.
And I did it because it's what I love doing. And I did it as a creative thing, too, to show people that, there's far more behind a casting director than just someone sitting on a phone or sitting behind a desk just making phone calls and hiring people. We have backgrounds, we have lives, we have emotions, we have feelings.
Right, of course.
And we feel for the people. I understand the struggle of what people are going through.
Right.
We have people that are not working, and when I get people on the phone, I hear the struggles constantly of what people are going through. It is part of the process. And so in going through that struggle, to create the freedom of that, no matter what you want to do, because it is a tough business, be prepared for that financially. You may have to get a job as a waiter, which is the trite expression.
Yes.
Or some kind of job at night to keep you financially free so that you're not desperate in terms of just living off the work, until you get into that rhythm of where you're working a lot and you've established yourself, which there are certain people that have. There are certain people that I use all the time. I know them. They're very responsible. They're terrific types. And these are people that I have off the top of my head because they've proven themselves to me, and the reliability is everything.
Sure.
If someone is not reliable or if they're ever late, I make a point of that.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they ever screw up on something, I make a point, and I probably won't use that person again.
Right.
Because they're representative of me.
Absolutely.
So that whole cycle is very important that people understand. While you're honing your craft, while you're perfecting what you do as an artist, it's very important to be on time, to be responsible.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen people lose good stuff
Mm-hmm.
because they ran late.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it there on time. The audition was over with,
Right.
It's the way it goes. Or they got the job, and for some reason they just weren't reliable. Do you follow? And so we had to pick someone else to do it.
Right.
Rarely does that happen,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it does happen every once in a while, and we have to make the change very fast and move on because time is money in our industry.
Absolutely.
So we have to find the thing that works. That's part of our job, is to make it work, to get it there on time, so we can get it on and move on to the next thing.